This video is sponsored by Sweetwater. Today on Riffs, Beards, and Gear, we are going to talk about my favorite signature guitars. Signature gear is very, very plenty in the world of the 2020 musician, whether that be signature pickups, signature guitars, signature amplifiers, signature pedals, signature shoes, signature plugins. Oh, who has those? Signature model, anything is appealing for a few different reasons. If you're a fan of that artiste, or that thing has some features that you like in particular, and often a signature anything is a chance for that individual artist to customize an already existing thing. So today we are going to talk about my 11 favorite signature guitars. Now these aren't in any particular order, and also there are a few runner-ups, and this was a very, very difficult list to compile. These aren't all of my favorite signature guitars. These are just some of them. This is the greatest hits of my favorite signature guitars. So without further ado, let's get started. Number 11, the ESP LTD SC20 Steph Carpenter from Deftones' signature guitar. This is a reissue of Steph's original, very first signature guitar back in the 90s. And back then, I believe, let's see, it came out in green, black, blue, and I think maybe a few other colors over the years. That initial guitar was, I remember, green and black, and I really, really wanted the green one, but they were just really, really hard to find back in the 90s. And you can still find them on Reverb from time to time, but the baby blue SC20 that is out today with the Tone Pros bridge and the Duncan pickups is mwah. Number 10, the Nags SS1 Steve Stevens signature guitar. I think this guitar is a combination of like a PRS and a Les Paul and kind of its own thing. I love the little purple accents around the edge of the guitar, but the shape of the Nags guitar is really, really inspiring, and just it's brain candy to look at, in my opinion. And I just have always loved Steve Stevens playing and his taste in gear, and this signature guitar from Nags is no exception. My favorite signature guitar, number 9, is the Schecter Kieth Merrow KM6 Mark III Artist guitar. I had the pleasure of demoing this guitar for Schecter and Kieth, who is a good buddy of mine. Also, you should go check out his channel. I will link down below in the description. But this guitar is a very, very modern take, and it is a combination of Kieth's favorite qualities of various guitars that he has had over the years, and it really combines a new aesthetic for a production guitar, and also, in my opinion, was a real turning point for Schecter coming out of the put skulls on everything phase and something much, much more modern and clean looking. I have partnered up with the kind folks at Sweetwater to let you know that September is Guitar Month. That means all sorts of sick deals on acoustic guitars, electric guitars, pedals, amplifiers, and all of the accessories that you can shake a stick at. Now, Sweetwater is also offering 48-month financing on most of the brands that they carry, and they're also offering bonus bucks, so you get a little kickback for your purchases that you're treating yourself to, because you're treating yourself, right? And finally, my favorite thing on the Sweetwater website is the brand new Mesa Boogie amp configurator that you can use to build and customize your own Mesa Boogie amplifier. Choose your Tolex, choose your grill, choose the overall color and aesthetic of your very own Mesa Boogie amplifier, and order it right off the Sweetwater website. I will link down below in the description for more information. Sweetwater. Favorite guitar number 8, the Ibanez Jay Unger Iceman. Jay was the guitarist for White Zombie, one of my favorite bands of the 90s. This is a very, very rare bird indeed. I think recently Zach from Shinedown was able to track one down. These were made in extremely limited numbers, and if you can even find one, I've seen these go for $4,000, $5,000, $6,000. I have been offered 2 in my life, and the most recent one, they wanted a lot of money. But Be that as it may, they're worth every penny if you can afford one. The aesthetic on these is very, very, very cool. And they're super, super rare. You probably can't find one. Favorite guitar number 7, the Epiphone, Lee Malia RD Artisan. Lee really nailed the aesthetic of the RD while combining the late 70s, early 80s Artisan trim package that came on a couple of Les Paul models back in the Norland era of the Gibson days. And this guitar is a phenomenal player, a phenomenal looker, and also I think it is one of the few occasions where the traditional Epiphone headstock really looks quite good on the rest of the body as opposed to its Gibson counterpart. Normally, I'm a Gibson headstock kind of guy. The Epiphone headstock makes sense and looks very, very good aesthetically speaking on this RD. Number 6 for my favorite guitars is the Music Man Dustin Kensrue Stingray model. This is a very, very nice Stingray. I've had it on the channel here. You guys know what a big fan I am of the Music Man Stingray guitars, and having Dustin have his own signature version of the Stingray added a lot of credibility in my opinion. I also love that he moved the selector switch down to the control plate where the volume is, and his particular model has a stacked volume and tone pot. These are really, really awesome guitars, and yeah, if you have a chance to play one, you definitely should. Entering the 5th spot for my favorite signature guitars is the Charvel DK24 Nova 7-string, the signature model from my good friend and the handsomest boy in the industry, Angel Vivaldi. This guitar is incredibly classy looking, but it's so modern in that it is a 7-string guitar, and I love the aesthetic of the guitar. It also feels really, really great to play. Also, I love Angel because he's a hell of a nice guy, a dear friend of mine, but also if you have a chance to play this guitar, the engineering and the quality of this guitar speak for itself. It's just so pretty. Number 4 on my favorite signature guitar list is, well, it's kind of all-encompassing, the Jim Root Fender guitars, namely the Black Jazzmaster and the White Jazzmaster, but all-encompassing, the Telly and the Strat are also really, really awesome, and they really put Fender into a whole new world in the metal community as far as I'm concerned, because traditionally you thought of metal and Fender in the vein of like Iron Maiden or something like that. Jim really brought them into the modern era with his signature series of guitars. They are brilliantly done, and also the Squier series versions are just as good as the American versions, in my opinion. Definitely check these out if you can. Number 3 for my favorite signature guitars is the ESP LTD BW1, the Ben Wyman signature guitar. This is a semi-hollow, ever-tuned guitar, and it is amazing. They don't make this model anymore. I had one, I regret getting rid of it. It was probably one of the best recording guitars I have ever owned in my life. It was solid, stayed in tune, obviously, because it has an Evertune, but it just sounded and felt incredible. And every time someone would come over to record anything, they would always grab that guitar. What a wonderful, versatile guitar the BW1 was. Coming in at the 2nd spot, number 2 for my favorite signature models is the PRS Tremonti. Now, Mark Tremonti really, I think, was single-handedly spearheaded the single cut for Paul Reed Smith. And up until that point, they were just known for the regular PRS core models, you know, the custom 22, the custom 24, and the single cut was a new rig at that time. And then you saw Tremonti playing it with Creed and then Alter Bridge, and you were just like, yo, this thing riffs, and it is a riff machine, just like Mark himself. I will have one day. And finally, number 1, my favorite signature guitar of all time, of course, the Gibson Les Paul. All of them. The Gibson Les Paul is probably the most famous and most revered signature model anything in the music industry. And not a lot of people think of it as a signature model, but that's exactly what it was when it launched in the 1950s. Les Paul was a shredding guitarist himself. I love the standards, I love the customs, I love the studios, and pictured here is Joe Perry's, a recreation of Joe Perry's signature collector's choice guitar. It's a 59 burst, tobacco burst, and I think it epitomizes the Gibson Les Paul, in my opinion. And that does it for my 11 favorite signature guitar models. If you have a favorite signature guitar model, let me know down in the comments. I'm sure there's some I'm missing. I'm sure there's a bunch I'm missing. This could easily have been a list of 20 or 30 guitars, to be honest with you. I will link down below in the description if you feel like checking out any of these guitars yourself. And with that, you've been wonderful. I've been Fluff. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed the video that you just watched, please consider subscribing. It helps me, help you, and then in turn you get more stuff to watch. And also, I have all sorts of stuff down in the description of this video. Sweetwater giveaway stuff, there's all sorts of links to all sorts of things, so consider checking that out as well if you're gonna hang. But if you don't hang, all good. I still love you.